AEW celebrating Chris Jericho's 30 years in wrestling this week on Dynamite. And we've been there for the entire time. Someone who gets to work alongside the Demo God as a member of the Inner Circle joins me now on the Vaqueros Caffeine Cantina Hotline. And it's someone that we are intimately familiar with. Well, okay, maybe not intimately might be the wrong word, but we know him really well. Because he is a former Inspire Pro Pure Prestige champion, has held titles all across the state of Texas and all over the world, and one of our dear friends that has helped us from the very beginning. He is the Spanish God, Sammy Guevara. Follow him on Twitter and Instagram at Sammy Guevara. Sammy G, what's up, my friend?
Man, you miss a few accolades, like the subscribe on YouTube, but hey, it's okay. I got so many. I understand.
Well, we have a whole interview.
So
we get to that.
Yeah,
we get to that later. Come on, Sammy. Come on. This is a professional interview. We got to space it out.
You know me. I'm one of these young guns.
I know you want to get it all.
Give it all away.
You want
immediately.
Yeah, blow up at the first. I get you. All right, that's okay. We'll remember that. How you been, man?
I've been good. Just got to Jacksonville, ready to kick ass tomorrow. The usual thing I've been doing for a long time. AEW people are getting more familiar with Sammy Guevara, but something you, Stu, have known I've done for many, many years.
Yes, absolutely. I've been there. I was just looking up at an old Inspire Pro poster where you and Ricky Starks were the semi-main. This was January 2016. When Ricky was still Inspire Pro champion. Now to see both of you there, react to that real quick. Just you and Ricky, kind of different paths, but kind of parallel, and now both of you starring in the hottest promotion on TV right now.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think about. Even before that date you just said, I first met Ricky in 2012 at some show called Space Town Wrestling. It was at some biker bar in the middle of nowhere, Texas, and there's probably like 10, 15 people in the crowd. And that was 8.5 years ago. And now to go from that, to not only main eventing Inspire, but now here we are at AEW, and I'm sure him and I will meet each other in an AEW ring sooner than later. But it's a trip, man. It's crazy. The cream always rises to the top, is what they say. And it's funny because I feel like him and I didn't like each other in the beginning when we first met each other. But then it took us wrestling each other, and then it was like, oh, okay, this guy's not bad. And then I feel like maybe it was like a mutual thing. Like, all right, maybe they're actually kind of good.
Yeah, you do in a pinch, dude. You two always just killed it in the ring. I was always fortunate anytime I got to call either of your matches, and Inspire or anywhere else for that matter. So, Sammy, as I mentioned, you're celebrating Chris Jericho 30 years in the business. I mean, that's before you were born. Talk for a second.
That's older than me, man.
Yeah, I know.
27.
I know. Talk for a second about that. Just what comes to mind when you think Chris Jericho, 30 years from Lionheart to all his time in Japan, all across U.S., Canada, Mexico, all over the world, and now they're in AEW as the leader of the Inner Circle?
Man, that is, it's super motivating because here he is 30 years in his career and he's still killing it, He could very easily not have to wrestle every week. Like, he's been wrestling a lot lately, too, and it's like he doesn't need to do that, but he is doing that, and he's helping elevate guys. Like, he was in the ring with Isaiah Cassidy last week, and, that's just the selflessness, or I think that's the word, of him. He's just giving back and improving the business, and it's motivating for a guy like me because it's like, all right, I feel like I got a lot going on, but I don't think I got as much as he's got going on, and he's killing it. So I got no excuses. I gotta step my game up. and show why I'm in the inner circle and why I'm, one half of the Sex Gods. So, Chris Jericho just being him, man, is motivating to me and the whole roster. Really, it's amazing.
Absolutely. He gets compared quite a bit to Ric Flair because Ric Flair during his career was kind of in that type where he would make sure to elevate whoever he was in the ring with or whoever he was working with to get them to that level. And Chris Jericho, he's picked that mantle up as well. And I've seen him in backstage on when shows when you guys are in Texas, and watching him interact with guys like you and Jake and Santana Ortiz and everybody else on the AEW roster. Let me ask you this: what's the best piece of advice that Chris has given you?
And there's been so much, but I feel like my go-to one is you're just stating like you don't want to put your opponent down and talk about how much they suck when you're wrestling them, because it's like, okay, when you beat them, it's like you beat a nobody because you've been saying they're nobody. And he was telling us that, and people have told us that. But then I was on commentary one time with him and JR, and I'm literally watching him right next to him, just hearing him talk about how great Jon Moxley is. And it all clicked. It all made sense. It's just like, oh, this guy's a fucking genius. Yeah, and that's the go-to one. But there's been so many. And some I cannot give away, I can't give away the magician's secrets, but that's the one I'll tell for now.
Right. No, I get you. Speaking of commentary, how was that being on commentary with Chris and Jim Ross in that crew? Just talk for a second about that.
Well, I had an easy job because, it wasn't really about me so much. It was more the story with Moxley, Jericho's doing the talking. I was just kind of there, kind of the best view, the best seat in the house that night. It was really cool though, but I was definitely taking a back seat, which I'm totally fine with. I know my role in certain situations, and that one wasn't about me, but just to be right there next to freaking Jim Ross, Excalibur, Chris Jericho, man, it's crazy to think, it's just like, who would have thought? Who would have thought in 2016 Ricky Starks versus Sammy Guevara?
I know. Believe me, I've interviewed Jim Ross before. I have followed him from when he was a referee at Mid-South. So to get to even share a few moments talking wrestling history with him was special to me. And I'm not that much younger than Jim Ross, so it was really cool for me.
You're pretty up there, right?
I'm a little ancient. Things don't move as quickly as they used to. So, but I
quadruple my age.
Not that, Sammy.
Which
come
one?
on, man.
I don't know.
Come on, man. Double. I think I'm double. Well, I'm just shy of double because I'm 52. So.
Okay. Well, hey, you look good. All jokes aside, you're looking good.
It came from hanging around guys like you. That's what kept me young. So exactly. I gotta give you some credit.
You got no choice. It's either you go with the times, you get left behind. That's the saying. So you definitely are not left behind, my brother.
Well, I appreciate that. Now I have to ask you. So your rivalry with Matt Hardy was just absolutely just beautiful. The way it was told and everything. Talk for a second about working with Matt Hardy. And I before you say that, I know when this rivalry started. And this has
you said that before we started. So
yes.
I'm interested to hear this.
Okay. So think back. November 2016. We're in Ennis, Texas, at Killer Tim Brooks' promotion. The main event is you, the man formerly known as Unholy Gregory James, and Broken Matt Hardy. And it's pre-show, and you got your merch stand set up, and you and I are chatting, and just maybe 20 feet away, there's Matt Hardy's merch stand. And we're standing there. You remember this, right? We're standing there. We're going, nobody's giving Sammy love. Everybody, the line for Matt Hardy was reaching all the way back to Waxahachie. Meanwhile, nobody's giving Sammy any love. And we got, and in fact, I think I took a picture of you with the sad face because nobody's coming to see you. And I said, okay, this is it. So when I'm watching all of this stuff between you and Matt Hardy, that's the first thing I think of is your merch table not being visited because Matt Hardy took all the fans.
That's right. I mean,
See?
You nailed it. This is bringing back bad memories. I mean, let's think about it. Matt Hardy's a millionaire. Sammy Guevara, he's working at a trampoline job. I need these shirt monies so I can, pay for some cat food. But Matt Hardy's there taking all the fans away.
I know.
So maybe you're right.
See? So, seriously, though, talk about working that program with Matt Hardy and just how well it was spaced out and written out and how it just continued on through All Out.
Yeah, I mean it's wild, man, because rivalries that maybe last a couple months. This was really dated back to March. I've seen people talk about like rivalry of the year for 2020, and when you think about it, it's like, yeah, who else would you really put there? This started back in March. We had all these different battles, different things we had to play with. We've literally tried to kill each other, and thankfully we didn't accomplish that. And but yeah, man, Matt Hardy, he's the fucking man, 100%. And that's another guy too. He doesn't need to do any of this. He doesn't need to work with a Sammy Guevara. He doesn't need to have these crazy matches with me, but he is, and he's elevating me. And that's the selflessness. Again, that word, CTE, brother. But yeah, no, it's the selflessness of him to go and try to elevate guys like me and guys like the Private Party and other people Matt's been in the ring with, Santana. He doesn't need to do that, but he does it. And it's just motivating for guys like me. So when I'm in that position, hopefully I can return the favor to a younger Sammy Guevara. And hopefully though, the younger Sammy Guevara doesn't give me a scar on my head.
Yeah.
Hopefully not.
Absolutely. And, he's getting close to 30 years now. I remember a car ride a couple years ago, and he was talking about how he and his brother were both getting close to that 30-year mark. So, hopefully we'll see a celebration for him as well. But yeah, you guys just did so well, and I just couldn't. Let me ask you this: who's the next AEW roster member in your sights?
That's a good question. That's a very great question. And that's questions that can be answered maybe tomorrow night on AEW Dynamite.
Then that's like a absolute pro. Hey, I would expect nothing less. Hey, man, before I let you go, just reflect back because not only are we talking 30 years of Chris Jericho, but we've now hit the first anniversary of All Elite Wrestling hitting the TNT airwaves. Talk for a second about what, you were in the very first match, you and Kip Sabian. Talk for a moment about how much this year has changed your life, how much, you worked so hard and have achieved this standing with AEW and becoming such a huge star with AEW. Just reflect back on the last year.
Yeah, I mean, so much has happened. We're in a worldwide pandemic, right? But besides that, it's like just so much in the wrestling world has changed. I feel like a lot of people were doubting AEW. And, we'll see how they do in 6 months. Well, 6 months, we're still kicking ass. And here we are a year later, still kicking ass. And it's been amazing, man. It's an amazing ride. I feel very blessed to be in this position. It goes back to what you were saying, back in 2016, nobody at my table line. And, now if I go to any kind of meet and greets or any kind of other events out of AEW, my lines are pretty big, and it's kind of humbling, and it's amazing just to think of what was to what is and what could be. And what could be is going to be amazing. So I'm letting you guys know that you guys haven't seen nothing yet. You know, you've seen a lot of good stuff from Sammy Guevara, but you're gonna see a lot better real soon.
And I'm looking forward to it. As I said, look, all kidding aside, I could not be prouder of you and what you've accomplished, how hard you've worked. I know, I've seen it. I saw it at that Inspire show in January 2016. I saw how special you were, and to now being able to see that on a much bigger stage, I couldn't be happy for you. Couldn't be more happy for you. He is Sammy Guevara. He is the Spanish God. Catch him on Twitter at Sammy Guevara and see him Wednesday nights on AEW Dynamite, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on TNT. Sammy, all the best to you, my friend. It is so good to talk to you. I miss seeing you around. Hopefully we'll get back together at an event real soon. But until then, be safe, be well, and I wish you all the best.
Well, thank you very much, and hopefully we can definitely make that happen. I miss Austin. That's like my second home. So hopefully I can get down there. And also, you forgot it again. Make sure to subscribe to me on YouTube.
Yes. The vlog.
And go watch the new vlog. You know, right now the numbers are doing pretty poorly, but it's okay with you guys watching it, upping them. Yes,
make sure you subscribe to YouTube, the Sammy Guevara vlog. It is must watch YouTubing. So make sure you catch that.
That's right.
Sammy, thank you so much.
Thank you, my brother.